The release of The Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is just around the corner, and I'm super excited for it. In this video, I'm going to go over everything you need to know about this movie and make sure you're prepared for when you go to the theater. If you enjoy this video, hit that like button. It will greatly help the channel with the algorithm, meaning I can make more fun videos like this one. And if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, and you can also follow me on all of my socials, all of which are linked down below, and all of which house similar content that I make here on this channel. Now that I've said that, let's get the video started.
It's a mystery, and mysteries have a way of driving people mad.
Production. The film is based on a prequel novel written by Suzanne Collins, who also wrote the original 3 Hunger Games books. The book was released back in May of 2020, and unlike the original Hunger Games trilogy, Collins went into writing the book knowing that there would be a movie made out of it, which was part of a deal that Scholastic made with Lionsgate, the movie company that owns the rights to the Hunger Games franchise. They produced the original 4 movies, The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay Parts 1 and 2. For this prequel, they brought back director Francis Lawrence, who directed all of the other films excluding the first in the franchise. Collins is among 3 of the screenwriters who adapted this book to the big screen, which she also did for the original 4 movies. She'll be working with Michael Arndt, who she worked with adapting the Catching Fire screenplay, so they have some experience working together. Arndt is also known for writing the Star Wars The Force Awakens script, as well as Toy Story 3, both films that received a lot of good feedback. And working alongside Collins and Arndt is Michael Leslie, who's known for writing the Assassin's Creed script from 2016 as well as the 2015 film Macbeth. Suzanne Collins is also a producer for the movie, and returning by her side is Nina Jacobson, who produced all 4 of the original movies, as well as John Killick, who produced all of the movies except for the first in the franchise. The movie has a runtime of 2 hours and 37 minutes, which is by far the longest movie in the Hunger Games franchise. But this makes sense because it is by far the longest book in the series as well. I was honestly expecting them to break this into 2 parts because it's over 100 pages longer than Mockingjay, which was of course split up into 2 parts on its own. And there was talk of this, director Francis Lawrence being concerned with the length. However, producer Nina Jacobson spoke up and said that the finished film was a daunting length, but felt that it really goes by fast. Thus, they decided to keep the movie all in one. The film is rated PG-13, which stays on course with the franchise, all of the films having the same rating. Me personally, I think it would have been really cool to see these movies rated R and see all of the blood and gore that we saw in the books. But I guess this is okay too, and it makes it so there's a wider pool of people to watch it. The premise. The movie takes place 65 years before the original series, and it's centered around the 10th Hunger Games. An 18-year-old Coriolanus Snow is the last hope for his fading lineage, a once proud family that has fallen from grace after the war known as the Dark Days. Like Snow's family, the Hunger Games has slowly fallen out of favor, and to fix this, the Capitol implemented the idea of having 24 students from the Academy and the Capitol each be paired up with one of the tributes. Snow becomes the mentor of Lucy Gray Baird, the female tribute from District 12, the same spot that Katniss held during the original series. After Lucy Gray commands all of Panem's attention by defiantly singing during the reaping ceremony, Snow thinks he might be able to turn the odds in their favor. Uniting their instincts for showmanship and newfound political savvy, Snow and Lucy Gray's race against time will ultimately reveal who is a songbird and who is a snake. Characters and cast. The main character is obviously Coriolanus Snow, and he's being played by Tom Blythe, who's known for being the lead role in Billy the Kid. He dyed his hair blonde for this role, and honestly, he looks exactly how I pictured him when reading this novel. Playing Lucy Gray Baird is Rachel Zegler, who has stirred up a lot of drama around her career recently. This started with her comments about the live-action Snow White movie where she's playing Snow White.
There's a big focus on her love story. With a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
Just in my own comment section for videos I made on this movie, I've seen people say that they are boycotting solely because of her. This is obviously something that the filmmakers and production has no control over because everything had been filmed and ready to go when many fans turned on her. Before all of that though, she was pretty beloved for her role in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story, and I think she'll be able to get back to her old ways of capturing audiences with her amazing acting. This film also has Peter Dinklage playing Dean Casca Highbottom, which makes me and many other Game of Thrones fans very excited. The man he's playing, Casca Highbottom, is the person who created the Hunger Games, and just seeing him in the trailer, I know he's going to kill this role.
You hear that, boy? It's the sound of snow falling.
Another big-time star is Viola Davis, who is playing Dr. Gall, the main villain of the series, who really helped shape the awful person Snow would eventually become when he was president. She's known for her roles in Fences, The Help, and most recently, the Suicide Squad movies. Josh Andres Rivera is taking on the role of Sejanus Plinth, one of the students from the academy that is assigned a tribute for the games. He and Rachel Zegler actually worked together in West Side Story, so they already have some chemistry going into this movie, which I think is very promising because those two characters do share a fair amount of scenes together. Sejanus is a very interesting character because he used to be a member of the districts, but his family leveled up to join the pristine capital. Going over another Academy student, we have Ashley Liao playing Clemencia, who in this novel was very close with Snow, and Liao is known for her roles in shows like Physical and Fuller House. Another interesting character is Tigress Snow, played by Hunter Schafer. She's probably best known for playing Jules in the hit show Euphoria. Going back to the original series, Tigress was a character who helped Katniss and the other rebels in Mockingjay, and many fans were excited to learn more about her backstory when the prequel first debuted. She and Coriolanus Snow are very close cousins who grew up together, and their dynamic is quite fascinating. And the last character that I'll highlight is Lucky Flickerman, played by Jason Schwartzman. He has been heavily utilized in the trailers, and he's of course the ancestor of Caesar Flickerman from the original series. Important plot lines. Going over some important plot lines that you need to know before going into the movie, the Dark Days is probably the most important one. The Dark Days were when the districts rose up and fought back against the capital, which happened a decade prior to when this movie takes place. The districts closed off every supply station for the capital, meaning they didn't get any of the supplies they needed from the districts, and they fell into some dark times, hence the name The Dark Days. I pointed this out in my trailer breakdown, but it's really interesting to see how they're still rebuilding the capital even a decade later because of this war. This war ended when the capital bombed District 13, sending a message to the other districts of what they were capable of. After the war, the capital punished the districts by implementing the Hunger Games. Another plotline to keep in mind is the state of the Hunger Games during this point in the franchise. It's 10 years in, and people are tired of the games already because it's the same thing every year. Looking at the original series, they had this huge spectacle that was always different, bringing in new game makers, changing the stadium, and putting on an amazing show. None of that was implemented here though, but they did take their first big risk for this games, the 10th Hunger Games, by bringing in the Academy students to mentor each tribute. This ended up sparking a lot of interest in the Hunger Games again.
What are the Hunger Games for, Mr. Snow?
The Snow family is another plotline to keep an eye on. The family used to be one of the most wealthy and powerful families in Panem, but the Dark Days took a huge hit on their wealth, and they were pretty poor during the events of this book and movie. However, things get interesting because Coriolanus and Tigress kept this a secret. They continued to play the role of a wealthy family, which takes a real toll on them. The next plotline to keep in mind is the Covey. This is Lucy Gray Baird's family back home in District 12, and they're a singing group. The trailer played Lucy Gray singing a very familiar song. Are you? This was of course the song that Katniss sang in the original series, taught to her by her father.
Are you coming to the tree?
And Sejanus Plinth is the last plotline I'll go over. Earlier I mentioned that he was a former member of the districts whose family later moved to the capital because of his father. His father's importance to the capital led to him being selected to take part in mentoring the tributes for that year's Hunger Games, which obviously really affects Sejanus, seeing those he used to know being forced to compete.
You're monsters! All of you!
And with that, you are now ready to see the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I'm going to be covering this movie in depth over the next 2 weeks, so if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss any of those videos. That's all I have for you guys this week though, so I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. You can follow me on Instagram to see more of my personal life, like my cute dog Loki, and some behind the scenes movie flame stuff. I also do similar content on TikTok and Twitter that I do here on this channel, so if you like what I do here, check them out. All the handles are right below me, and links are in the description. Over here are my wonderful patrons. If you want to be featured on the next video, plus get a few other perks, become a patron today. As always, if you liked the video, hit that like button and subscribe, and look out for more great Movie Flame videos on the way.